When we talk about diversification, we often think about adding new services. But for us, diversification was about one question: how to change a role in the new value chain and go from process to customer journey. Just a few years ago, in Postal Slovenia, more than 50% of our revenue came from letters. At the same time, we were losing market share in parcels. We were strong where the market was shrinking, but not competitive enough in a growing one. We had to face reality that customers were no longer comparing us with other traditional CEP operators. They were comparing us to Amazon-level experiences and digital platforms. Today, picture is completely different. Letter business are now below 30% of our portfolio. Our parcel business grew by 175%, and logistics represents more than 40% of what we do. Postal Slovenia today is not just a national postal operator anymore, but regional platform-based logistics and service provider based on data, trust, and sustainability. So we are moving from moving goods to managing data, interactions, and intelligence across the whole supply chain. Diversification for us means three things: expanding into parcel, e-commerce and last mile solutions, then building digital services and AI-driven customer interaction, and the third one is strengthening our role as a trusted connector between citizens, businesses, and the state. What made the difference with three shifts? First, we come from addressee-based to customer-first mindset. We started to really listen to our customers, not just to reports, but directly to customers, especially those who were not choosing us. We went through complaints, redesigned our contact center, implemented NPS across key touch points, and spoke directly with e-commerce players. We were aware that if you don't understand your customer, you cannot compete with platforms that do. The second, we changed how we go to the market. So we stopped selling services. We started solving problems. Our sales and product development teams moved from managing a declining letter business to co-creating logistics and customer solutions for e-commerce, working directly with young e-commerce companies in Slovenia and key global online platforms to support their growth. And we also changed how we innovate and integrate real-time data into operations. So we have stopped buying fit-all solutions. We started to co-create them as partners based on real operational needs. An example, with startups like Slovenian Solvasol, we co-developed AI dynamic routing and optimization platform, which is one of the most important tools for managing delivery network. With Lulpulse, a Slovenian company, we built Pia, our AI voice agent, in service and call center with potential to become AI platform. Third, we move up the value chain and change our role. So we didn't stay just in the last mile, because last mile without control of the rest is dependency. We built a group of 18 companies across 9 markets, including our subsidiary company Inter Europa. And this allowed us to move from last mile delivery to end-to-end solutions and logistics integration. At the same time, we expanded our IT services. We have the largest data center capacity in Slovenia, and we were the first in the region to integrate an AI voice agent Pia into our contact center, not as technology, but as a member of the team, with the potential of scaling Pia into an AI service layer. And importantly, we also made transformation inclusive. Through our subsidiary, we are creating new opportunities for employees with disabilities by expanding into new services that were previously outsourced, such as the protection of people and property, an example. There are 3 trends that are redefining our industry globally, and we see them every day at Post of Slovenia. First, the shift from logistics to intelligence. It's no longer about moving parcels. It's about understanding flows, predicting demand, and optimizing in real time. We used to measure success by delivery speed. Today, success is defined by how fast we can adapt to the change. So it's no longer about speed of delivery. It's about speed of switching scenarios. So that's why we implemented dynamic routing systems, because the future is not predictable, it's variable. The second one, customer expectations are shaped outside our industry. The speed is no longer the differentiator. Our competition is not another postal operator. They are platforms, and they don't optimize processes. They redesign expectations. Our competition is the best experience a customer had yesterday. The real competition is the speed of adaptation. And the third, AI. AI is changing decision making. It's not just about automation. It's not just efficiency. It is changing how decisions are made inside organizations. At Pošta Slovenije, with PIA, we learned something important. When we introduced our AI voice agent, we didn't just improve efficiency. We changed how we think about customer interaction. AI doesn't replace people. It changes what people focus on. Routine disappears, complexity remains, and it is a new layer of interaction between customers, systems, and the services. And organizations that don't adapt to this will fall behind very quickly. And this is the key point. The future of postal organizations will not be defined by infrastructure, but by how intelligently we will use it. The most critical element was not technology, but facing reality. We had to accept that what made us successful in the past will not make us successful in the future. First, we had to shift mindset. It started very simple, but very uncomfortable. Starting to reading all customer complaints and also reading how we were responding with no empathy, no ownership, just formal replies with legal deadlines. That was the moment we understood that we were efficient, but not customer-centric. Transformation doesn't start with the systems. It starts with how you treat your customer. Second, we have to change behavior. Transformation is a behavior change. So we change three things. We put NPS and customer feedback at the center of every decision. We empower teams and redefine success, more decentralized and more responsive. And we started acting like builders, not administrators. We started to building partnerships differently. You need builders in the organization, people who solve real customer problems, not just manage processes. And third one is the elephant in the room, something we prefer not to talk about openly. Transformation sounds very straightforward when we present it. Technology, strategy, new services, but in reality, it's much more complex. It is about changing how the organization works. And yes, that includes difficult topics, legacy structures, rigid processes, and sometimes employees and union expectations that are not always aligned with market reality. We are a traditional organization. We have a strong social dialogue, active unions, and long history of protecting jobs and working conditions. And that's part of our identity. Of course, this brings challenges. There are negotiations, expectations around stability, concerns about new roles and new skills, and sometimes resistance to change. This is the reality of our sector. And honestly, you can't transform postal operator by ignoring that. And we have to engage, we have to explain, we have to listen 100 times. And sometimes you also have to slow down to bring people with you. So for us, it was never only about moving faster. It was about moving together. Technology enables transformation, but people are the ones who make it real. Well, the biggest misconception is this one, that we are in the business of delivering parcels, and we are not. We are in the business of connectivity, and connectivity today is physical, digital, and intelligent. If we stay only in the physical part, we become a small piece of someone else's system. And this is where the real risk is. Not disruption, but dependency. In a world that is moving towards platforms, some call it techno-feudalism. Power is shifting to those who control the relationship with the customer. So the question is not how efficient we are. The question is, what role do we play in the system?